Hello everyone, welcome back to Streed's Guide to Fraggle Rock. And today I'm going to be reviewing Season 3, Episode 6, Home is Where the Trash Is. This episode starts out with Doc gleefully stating that today marks the beginning of the Captain's Inn holiday weekend. Meanwhile in the garden, Gunge wakes up Philo and out of nowhere desires to leave the trash heap and go home. It's played off as if they've been contemplating this from day one, but it's never been mentioned before. It's a massive plot contrivance, which I'll elucidate more on later. Marjorie wakes up and overhears their plans to go home, and it becomes patently clear they don't even know where it is. Naturally, she's upset and warns them of monsters and evil beings out in the vast wilderness.
Gorg Schmorgs, you haven't seen monsters till you've met Wonder McMooch.
What's a McMooch?
He's a bug-eyed bundle of warts all over a nasty disposition.
Oh, a good-looking fella.
Yes.
Snappy dresser.
Okay, boys, okay, yuck it up. But, boys, if you leave, I know you wouldn't last a single day without me to protect you.
The two leave Marjorie's warning unheeded and promptly rush off. Marjorie's worried, but she assures herself that they'll be back. Sometime later, the duo are confused as to where home exactly is. Moki and Red stroll by and through miscommunication assume that their home is their own. They quite like the place, and I absolutely love the fact that Philo confuses Red's collection of objects as trash. So, in the midst of jubilation, they sing a song about finally finding their home.
Wow! Wow! Time to build a nest. What are you, a boy? Time to recall what's best. Trash in the hallway, trash for a crawlway, and now tell it once again. Scampy, but let's keep it aiming. The garbage in good time, rumble and blue slime at home. It's where your heart keeps going. Home, it's what your head keeps knowing. Home, it's what your dreams keep showing. All of the things that make you sing of home. It's where your heart keeps going. Home, it's what your head keeps knowing. Home, it's what your dreams keep showing. All of the things that make you sing like anything and spread your wings for home. Home!
After the song, the two erect a pile of trash and try to bring it to life, but with no avail. What? This has always been an aspect of this episode that's baffled me. Well, this and a whole other list of things. What is the point of them searching for home if all they do is try to recreate their previous home? Why not just go back? Why even leave in the first place?
I don't know!
Moki and Red return, confused, and the two leave, saying it isn't for them, rendering this song catchy, but entirely pointless. I don't mean to sound too harsh, but while I enjoy this episode and consider it one of my all-time favorites, as a critic I must be objective and point out this episode's many writing blunders. Moving on, the two return to Marjorie and state they're going to leave again tomorrow, breaking her heart. They say they can take care of themselves, and she does not take it well.
You think you can take care of yourselves? Then go take care of yourselves. You obviously don't need me anymore.
What we need is to go home.
You want to go home? Go home. And I never want to see your rodentish faces again.
Wow. This is the one scene in the episode I've never liked. The trash heap would never react like this. It's pretty disgusting that she'd emotionally manipulate them like that and then cast them out, saying she never wants to see them again. By all means, I'm not defending them for leaving her behind, but you'd think an all-knowing being would realize they were just being obdurate, and this was the worst possible way to respond. She should have handled this better by calmly telling them that she loves them and doesn't want them to leave and potentially get hurt by the dangers yonder. This is probably the trash heap's worst scene, right up there with Gobo's dickery and Red Sea Monster. We return to the workshop, and Doc starts bringing out garbage since the sanitation workers have gone on strike, and Doc doesn't want to sully the image of the Captain's Inn. Back in the Rock, Philo and Gunge feel quite dejected after Marjorie sent them the way, they get spooked by some cave creatures and run into Wembley. Sometime later, the two have moved into Gobo and Wembley's cave, taking Gobo's bed, and when he returns, he is not happy. We cut to the trash heap and see that she's slowly beginning to weaken now that Philo and Gunge have gone. Back in the room, Gobo's bunking with Wembley, although they should have just gotten a blanket from Boober. I mean, these two literally sleep in rubbish. I don't think they'd mind sleeping on a blanket on the floor. The two ask Gobo to tell a story, so he does the next best thing and reads a postcard from his uncle traveling Matt. Matt finds himself rudely awakened into a garbage truck near a massive trash heap with seagulls, stating that he frankly prefers wisdom. After listening to the card, the two are reminded of the trash heap and become emotional, in a scene that still breaks my heart.
Hearing about Marjorie brung tears to your eyes. You can't fool me.
Yeah, well, so who you to talk? I didn't notice you peeling no onions.
Oh, boys, you've been feeling sad all night. I can feel it in my bones.
What's wrong with her? He doesn't look too well.
I find it nearly impossible not to tear up whenever I watch this scene. I've known exactly how Philo and Gunge felt. It's hard to reckon with missing someone you love, but it's even harder to reckon missing someone who doesn't miss you. Loki and Red visit the trash heap and they notice she's forlorn, so they try to cheer her up by asking her advice, but unfortunately, Marjorie is too distraught. Back in the room, Gobo gets pushed out of bed and he's pissed at Philo and Gunge. He takes his bed back and the two are promptly kicked out. At this point, Philo and Gunge have nowhere to go and find themselves near the workshop, and we learn that the trash heap apparently came to life soon after they showed up. Meanwhile, Doc's bringing in even more garbage and Sprocket isn't taking it well. The two head in and Sprocket chases them out. We return to Gobo and Wembley's room and Moki and Red arrive panicked, waking them up looking for Philo and Gunge. We then cut to the middle of nowhere with them building a little pile of trash. It suddenly starts moving and the two celebrate, unaware of the peril that awaits them.
Well, what have we here? Allow me to introduce myself. McMooch is the name, Wander McMooch. No doubt you've heard of me.
Oh, my boys. Oh, my boys are in danger. Oh, I can feel it. Liz.
Then we get my favorite villain song from not only Fraggle Rock, but any piece of media.
Day by day I'm here behind you. First I seek you, then I find you. Deep into the earth I grind you, yeah. No one else has wined and dined you. No one else can mastermind you. All I want to do is bind you, yeah. First I bend you, then I wind you. I am hoping to remind you. Hate is hot and here behind you, yeah.
Afterwards, Philo mentions the trash heap, and the two realize home was with Marjorie all along. No shit, fellas. Back in the garden, the trash heap is weeping, and the Fraggles try to comfort her. She tells him that the dastardly Wander McMooch has captured Philo and Gunge, and the Fraggles are determined to stop him. We then cut to the swamp, and I love the design of this place. It's so grimy, so filthy. It perfectly encapsulates McMooch's repulsiveness. They arrive at his loathsome pad, and the two warn McMooch that the Fraggles will rescue them. The Fraggles arrive, quite quickly might I add, and threaten McMooch. He then threatens to dive into the swamp, and all looks hopeless until Philo and Gunge realize it's the Fraggles' lovability that repulses McMooch. So they shower him in affection until he drops them, and they all head home with McMooch weeping in fear. Back in the garden, Philo and Gunge apologize, and Marjorie admits that without them, she began to die, and they both promise never to leave their beloved Mama Trash Heap again. Meanwhile, in the workshop, it's beginning to look like my aunt's trailer, and Doc gets a call from Miss Ardath saying that the garbage strike may continue for a week, and Sprocket's devastated. This was a very messy episode. I have a great amount of love for it, but I can't deny just how flawed and frankly terribly written this entry is. This is one of those episodes that has no justification to exist. These episodes are either unbearable to watch, like Catch the Tail by the Tiger, or they're still quite enjoyable in their own right, like The Trial of Cotter Doozer. As I said, this is one of the more enjoyable pointless episodes. The very foundation of this plot makes no sense. It's extremely contrived since Philo and Gunge have never previously expressed wanting to go home. It's very out of character for them to suddenly decide to leave when they've always been comfortable where they already were, especially when everywhere they go, all they do is try to recreate their home with Marjorie. So I find myself wondering,
What's the point of any of this?
Marjorie herself also acts vastly out of character with her snapping at the boys in such a mean-spirited way. It's been well established that she's an all-knowing, omnipotent being, so why is she acting like this when she knows they'll return? Like I mentioned before, she could have just compassionately asked them to stay. They clearly love her too, but had she done that, this episode wouldn't have happened, which makes her outburst another poorly executed plot device to move it forward. Marjorie's mysterious backstory doesn't make a lick of sense, and I really wish the unproduced episode Moonlighting came to fruition, but with a little fine-tuning. I don't see Philo and Gunge getting along with Marlin at all. If anything, they just snicker at him for being so strange. But still, this unofficial backstory is a lot more substantial and intriguing than her just suddenly coming to life for no discernible reason. There's also the detail concerning Madam Heap and McMooch being enemies. For all her cosmic power, she's quite sedentary, and we're never shown any interactions between the two. And McMooch also refers to Madam Heap as a dustbag, implying that they've indeed met somehow before, but it's never explained. It's so frustrating. What happened between the two? This next criticism is a bit of a nitpick, and I didn't even realize it until later in life, but McMooch's size noticeably changes. In Junior Cells of the Farm, he's a little under half the Gork's size, while the Fraggles were about as big as, say, his hand. But here, McMooch is only slightly taller than the Fraggles, yet another contrivance to introduce a last-minute previous villain. I've talked a lot about my criticisms thus far, so let's get into my praises. The songs here are impeccable. The home song is fun and jaunty, somewhat reminded me of a 30s novelty tune, but by far the greatest song in this episode is undeniably Manic McMooch. It's catchy, visually interesting, it tells you everything you need to know about this bug-eyed bundle of warts all over a nasty disposition. And another thing I appreciated about this episode was the eerie atmosphere of the swamp. The swamp radiates an atmosphere of foreboding wilderness. While the message of this episode isn't conveyed in the best way, partially hampered by the trash heap's uncharacteristic outburst, it's still a valuable and wholesome lesson for the show, and it always fills me with the utmost happiness seeing Philo and Gunge reunite with Marjorie. Here's a little known fact. There's a misconception that the reason this was McMooch's final appearance was because he frightened children and parents complained. That's untrue. In reality, the producer of Fraggle Rock, Larry Merkin, felt McMooch contradicted the show's philosophy of there being no good or evil, merely misunderstanding and miscommunications. I'm gonna have to disagree with Mr. Merkin here. While the world is full of kind, loving, and caring people, there's an equilibrium of people who are purely and simply evil. McMooch is symbolic for the scourge of the world. He's a necessary evil to say, to show younger audiences that these monsters do indeed exist, and we should do everything in our power to avoid them. And we can only do that by knowing they're out there. Overall, this was a poorly written mess of an episode with no real reason to exist, but I'm glad it does. Yeah, it's full of contrivances and inconsistencies, but I think its atmospheric charm and pertinent message make it more memorable than it has any right to be. I'm gonna give this one a guilty pleasure mushroom. Well guys, that was the review, and I will see you all in the season finale.